More anti-government protests are expected to continue in Sudan as demonstrators continue their call for an end to the rule of President Omar al-Bashir. The protest first erupted in mid-December after the government announced price rises on fuel and bread. The country has already been rocked by 2 weeks of sometimes deadly street demonstrations. At least 19 people have died since protests began. Citizens say they are worried about their safety but cannot continue to live with the status quo. The United Nations says it is worried about the violence in Somalia, which erupted following the arrest of a former al-Shabaab deputy leader who was running for office. The UN Special Rep for Somalia said the violence in the southwest state marred the electoral process and may also have implications for the likelihood of future al-Shabaab defectors who may be considering exchanging violence for a political path. Somalia ambassador to the UN, Abuka Usman, added that the citizens want their country to have its place in the community of nations, demanding that their government assume its responsibility in shaping their future.
Politics is complex in any nation, but in one that is still establishing its norms, institutional parameters, and still debating the responsibilities of its respective governance structures, there is a risk that complexity shifts to conflict. We witnessed this during the electoral process in Southwest State, allegations of interference by the federal government, and the violence which erupted following the arrest of one of the candidates, a former al-Shabaab deputy leader, marred the process and does not bode well for the upcoming electoral processes in other regions or for the 2020 national elections. This may also have implications for the likelihood of future al-Shabaab defectors who may be considering exchanging violence for a political path. Al-Shabaab remains the biggest source of insecurity in Somalia. Despite the ongoing operations to degrade the terrorist group, it still has the capacity to conduct indiscriminate attacks on Somali citizens and to target electoral delegates, the Somali security forces, and AMISOM.
Somalia distinguishes between the institutions that we are part of and individualist conduct or individual conduct that has a detrimental effect on our fragile nations. Our government is taking Somalia to a new future. It's no more of a transitional nature, but a sovereign nation with all its rights and privileges. We are battling against terrorism, clan mentalities, and corruptions. It's our expectation that the leadership of the UN will support that strategic picture.